G'day YouTube people. I just want to take you through a video I did last week, and I sent this off to the Main Roads Department of WA, and I actually got a response from them pretty quickly. So it's to do with Eric Street and the traffic lights, and at the end of this video you can see the video that I actually sent into them. And look, I think this is actually a very good response from someone at the Main Roads. So yeah, they're aware of this because this issue, because I think the Cottesloe Council actually got onto them some months ago after a safety audit was done and raised this very issue. Now, what I really found interesting is they had a look at the traffic signal wiring diagram, and they found that it's only got 29 cable cores available, meaning we don't have the capacity to install a dedicated lantern for the pedestrian cyclist lantern without rewiring and reconfiguring the entire intersection at significant cost. Okay, so that's actually a really interesting thing that I guess cycling advocates and walking advocates are just completely blissfully unaware of. And that's the technical considerations of updating these old intersections to cater for pedestrian crossings or bike crossings. And, you know, as they said, it would cost them quite a bit of money, I guess, to dig up the road to run new cables from their cabinet. And you know, if you go to any intersection where there's traffic signals, you'll see there's a cabinet somewhere on the side of the road with a phone number on it and a serial number or a box number. Doesn't matter if you're in New South Wales or WA or whatever. It's pretty much the same cabinet everywhere, just different colours and different numbers. Um, so yeah, that's actually a very insightful response. However, what kind of gets me here is if we go back in time to when this project started, it was actually floated, I think, back in 2017, and they went through all the planning and all the rest of it. And then in early 2020, the Cottesloe Council went and created a draft long-term cycling network plan. And that went out for consultation in March, and it was reviewed by the Department of Transport at that time. And I guess, I don't know if they provided commentary on it or just said, yeah, that's fine. But what I'm getting at here is the disconnect between different government agencies and their budgets. So in this case, the DOT's gone, yeah, great, you know, we agree with this, and they actually coughed up some funding 2 years later of, I think it was like $350,000. So, you know, the federal government chipped in a couple hundred thousand, and so it didn't leave the council having to throw in a huge amount of money. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is the Department of Transport, which oversees the Main Roads Department, approved the project, possibly knowing, well, actually absolutely knowing that the shared path was going to stop at the corner of Eric Street and Curtin Avenue. And then cyclists and pedestrians would then need to cross first Eric Street and then Curtin Avenue. And at the Eric Street crossing, there is no pedestrian or cyclist signal. So you'd think if there was this thing called joined up government, what they would have done is gone, oh, well, maybe we should get the signals guys at the Main Roads Department to go and investigate, you know, whether we can put in a pedestrian slash cycling signal there. And then they might have come back and gone, yeah, we can do it, except it's going to cost $200,000. And they're going, oh, okay, righto, well, you know, make sure there's some money in your budget for 2023, 2024 to do that work. Or maybe they just didn't consult with them at all. And it's a big surprise to everyone that they built the path, and then some people like myself have gone, hey, guys, where's the traffic signals? And they've gone, oops, we kind of forgot about that. So, yeah, I think it's, you know, so yes, it's an interesting engineering conundrum that they have got themselves in here, but also just the communication channels which need to be opened up between the various agencies to say, you know, we're going to put in a shared path here. Okay, so what are we going to need? We're going to need, you know, the traffic signals to be changed. What's that going to cost? Obviously, that's not going to go into the council's budget because, you know, they don't deal with traffic signals. It's got to go into the Main Roads Department, and either Department of Transport needs to give them more money to do the work, or they need to be told to find some money and reprioritise some of their other works. Yeah, that's it. Well, anyway, here's the video that I put up asking them to do this. And like I said, I think it's a very good response from the Main Roads Department, very considered and accurate and all the rest of it. But I just think it's a shame that the powers that be above these people failed to coordinate so that they could get this work done either before the works went ahead to build the shared path or at the same time. Anyway, here we are. Let's see what they can do to fix it. G'day Main Roads, we're going to Cottesloe to the corner of Eric Street and Curtin Ave, and we're going to have a look at the need for some bike traffic signals at this intersection. So the council has recently built a nice new shared path going down the beach. Now that crossing in green is okay, the one in red is not, and if we do the reverse course along the shared path getting over this intersection, again the crossing in red is not okay and the one in green is. Why is that? Well, one's got a bicycle signal or a pedestrian signal and the other one doesn't. So you can see there, nice clear pedestrian signal as we're heading west towards the beach. So that's all good. You can actually see it from the other side of the road, even when the sun is behind you and shining on the signal. However, when we go to cross here to get across to the shared path there's no signal whatsoever. You've got to rely on that green light, which seems a little bit screwball. Why would you have a pedestrian signal on one arm of the intersection and not on both? But at least that green signal is visible from that island out in the middle of the road, because that's not the case when we go back in the opposite direction. So have a look at the signals here. You can see there is a signal on the island, but the way the hood is facing, the way it's twisted, you can't actually see most of the light from this direction. It's obviously facing the drivers who are out there on the road. The only signal you can see from this direction is the one that's over in the middle of the road over there. Now, that's okay if you've done this crossing a few times. When you turn up here for the first time, this is very confusing where the heck you're supposed to be looking, because I think a lot of people are not going to see that signal out there in the middle of the road, and they're going to be confused as what to do, particularly kids, because they might be riding to the school, which is just on the other side of the railway line. Now, when we get to this arm of the crossing, you can see there is in fact a pedestrian signal right in front of us, so this crossing is all good. So again, just to repeat the ask, it's to put in a couple more pedestrian or bicycle signals on those other arms of the crossing to make it consistent and clear and safe.